Welcome to Boxing on the Record. Moving too fast.
Boy, got too
Moving too
happy.
fast on that one. I'm moving too fast on that one, Shy.
Yeah, yeah, I feel you though. Man. That's all right. That's all right, man. Take your time, baby. Take your time.
Here we go, man. Welcome to Boxing on the Record with Randy and Shy. Shy, before we get started, it's time for a commercial break. So this is the time we get our viewers to respond. Like, comment, dislike, share, do something to engage with the show so that we can reach more people, get our subscription up so that we can be heard on by more ears. Now back to our regular scheduled program. Shot, what's going on with you? What's on your mind? What you want to get off your mind and put on the record?
Man, Randy, a couple of days ago, I believe it was on Friday. Um, I was like tuning into Netflix because I was trying to watch some of these little reruns of the A Team, and for whatever reason, that particular night, uh, they had this whole thing, a special event going on, so they weren't going to air A Team at that time. I was like, man, what the hell is going on with you guys? Why are you not doing this? And then I realized it was the Jake Paul versus AJ fight. I was like, ah. So I stayed there and watched the whole fight. So I definitely need to holler at you about that and tell you what I saw in that fight. Uh, I'm just gonna go ahead and start like this, Randy. Um, I personally, well, let me say this: Jake Paul is an entertainer, and I do appreciate what he has literally. How could you say it? I don't even know how to say it properly, but brought some of that energy back to boxing, where we have casuals. That's the key thing I'm focusing on. We have casuals interested in watching the sport, even though they don't know much of anything. They try to go off of whatever and talk about blah blah blah. But he brings that energy there. People that especially he's younger than us, so he was literally raising a generation when boxing wasn't necessarily on TV every day, on free TV every day like it was with us. Uh, but he has taken his time. I do believe he initially started out thinking about, man, this could be a quick money hustle type of thing. And as he started getting more involved, he took his time to learn more and more about the sport and what was going on with the sport and what was happening. And I do believe he has developed a love for the sport. And I believe his love is what he wants others to kind of engage in, other casuals like he was, to kind of get engaged in and build the sport uh, in that regards. Um, with this past fight against AJ, it was too big of a mountain for him. It will always be too big of a mountain for him. Uh, he could never ever touch any kind of like truly competing top level fighter, regardless how we feel about them. These cats have literally been trained to fight, know how to do subtle nuances and everything that many people ignore and don't think about. Many people just looking for someone to hit someone or to, have bloody noses or go back and forth. Uh, but there is a lot of subtle things that we call boxing technique. We call ring generalship. Call having boxing IQ that goes on in this whole entire so-called bloody match. And these people swing each other that many people don't see because it's shrouded by the so-called violence that they see there, and they just want these type of things. But those that are astute are able to see more of the nuance and understand there's a lot more that's happening there. And I think I personally feel like he's finally maybe gotten back to his senses with this. I think it really shed a light on a lot of stuff. We knew there was absolutely no way he was going to beat AJ, but uh, to literally receive AJ punches and know that, okay, this is something I really can't keep doing. I personally feel that maybe he's gonna go back to either just promoting and just really do what he has to do for the females to get them out there because you've done enough, or just do these little, event stuff. fight against, whoever, uh, uh, what's his name, David Copperfield or something like that. You know what I'm saying? David Blaine. We about to get in the ring and do this and all this type of stuff. Do those entertaining type of things to bring people while you still have legitimate boxers on your card. I'm for that, but not for him to continue doing this anymore. And the last thing I'll say before I go ahead and hand all this stuff off, there had been some stories running around that AJ, carried him all the way up until the fight ended. I hate to say this, bro. I really hate to say this because it's almost like I'll be fighting with them myself. Uh, Even though I, for whatever reason, and I'm gonna go to my grave with this, believe and loud about the fact that Sugar Ray Leonard beat Hagler in that fight. I'm equally loud about the fact that Sugar Ray Leonard ran much of that fight. I mean, stuff that we can't get away with today. And in this particular fight, Jake Paul like embodied at least that first half of Sugar Ray Leonard, of literally just going and running everywhere. My bold stance is that absolutely false. There's no way that AJ carried him up until he finally got him. He could not, with Jake Paul running like that, AJ could not have knocked him out, could not have done anything with him until he finally slowed down. Why? Because AJ's always had bad footwork. He's always been a person that's never been able to cut off the ring properly. So anyone that moves on him, anyone that's constantly doing this stuff, he himself can't make those adjustments. He can't cut the ring off. He can't do any of those things. But we always knew, I myself always knew that once this person starts getting a little bit tired, they start slowing down, or they feel a couple of these punches and they start slowing down, it's going to be a wrap. And that's exactly what happened. Uh, Talk to me, Randy. Go ahead and give it to me.
Well, since you put that on the end, I'm gonna go ahead and start with that. I wasn't gonna start with that. I was gonna kind of end with that, but since you put it on the end, I'm gonna go ahead and start with that and then work backwards. I think uh, um, they say AJ carried him. I don't think AJ carried him, as you say. I don't think that. What I think was AJ told us what he was gonna do in some of the interviews that they did. He said he was gonna put mental and physical pressure on you and basically steal your will or steal your soul or something he alluded to. But I think what AJ was doing, and sometimes we don't use the same terminology when we're looking at fights like this versus a regular fight. AJ was playing with his food. I think AJ was systematically in there, not really trying to catch him, not really trying to catch him, just putting that mental pressure on him of what's gonna happen if this guy catch me. So I got to continue to run until till time run out. And if I can't beat time running out, then I'm gonna have to face it. Which is easier to just go ahead and face him and get it over with and get knocked out, which I know you don't want to, than it is to run and get that mental pressure on you. Because the more mental pressure you get on you, then the tighter you get, the more it's gonna have effect on you. You're gonna have weak legs and all that. And even though you're gonna already have them, but they're gonna be even weaker because you're mentally tired. I'd rather be physically tired any day than to be mentally tired. But then we're gonna also have those people that says that it was scripted, and they're gonna say it no matter what. No matter what happened, they're gonna say it was scripted, in which I disagree with it because you got Vegas still betting on this. It's a sanctioning fight, so if it's scripted and it's sanctioned and all the protocols that's been taken to make this fight a real fight, then the FBI, whoever need to step in, gonna step in and see why are you saying this a real fight, but then you already got it stripped it, and the Vegas people or whoever the betting people already know the outcome, so they already being able to hedge their bets. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Um, but I think with AJ, not AJ, with Jake doing the same thing that we always talked about as little children and growing up watching boxing, even especially when Mike Tyson was fighting. We used to say, "Oh, I don't know about you, but I've heard a lot of people say this, and I've said it myself. Oh, I step in the ring with Mike Tyson for $10 million, which was a lot of money then. $10 million. I step in the ring with him and won't be with two punches though. He hit me and I'm out of there. You know what I mean? But it's a big difference when you get in there and you realize this guy hit hard and it hurts. And I think Jake Paul really realized he got himself in some serious trouble when he actually stepped in the ring and realized this is real now. This guy here is big. I knew it was big because I was looking at him and when we faced off and I got to look up to him and I understand this is real now. Um, we also got this here to deal with. We don't talk about this, but we ain't talking about this with this fight, but we talk about this in fights. They're weight class for a reason. He was out class. Well, weight wise, they would have never had a fight like that in real boxing with that much of a mixed match. That is why Jake Paul, and I know they're gonna crucify me about this, but that is why a lot of people holler Tank would have did him worse than that and this and that. No, Jake was at an advantage with Tank. Tank was at a disadvantage, even though Tank is the boxer and the skill boxer, but they're weight class for a reason. That man was way bigger than Tank. And yeah, Tank probably could have clipped him and got him out of there. But I would have been betting on Jake because Jake is the bigger guy. And Jake can oppose his will on Tank because he probably can walk through a lot more punches than somebody Tank size or even around Tank size than than uh than Tank can walk through his punches. Because if he catch Tank solid, it's a whole new ball game. It looked the same Tank and Jake as Jake and AJ. That's what it would have been like with Tank. So he put himself at a disadvantage when he went in the ring with AJ. Um, also, they was talking about how when a whole lot of punches thrown. How can it be a whole lot of punches thrown when a man is running? If they had been Devin, everybody would have been talking about Devin ran that night. But don't nobody say Jake was running. I didn't expect AJ to cut the ring off that fast because he big. So he methodically walked him down. Like Jason, Michael Myers, he walked him down because he put the fear in his heart as he get him there. And then by the time he get him there, he exhausted. It's over. It's over. Jake probably was betting on the fact that the ring gonna be bigger. I can move around. I can just stay out of his way. We know he got a glass jaw. We know his last few fights been suspect, and then he lost one. Um, I believe I can deal with this guy, but it's a whole different ball game when you in there with a big guy that's got skills versus a little guy with skills. You can get away with a lot more because he's not gonna hurt you as much as a big guy would. And then we say certain things when we're not in that situation. We both know if you get in a fight with a guy that's 75 pounds lighter than you, the chances are he's not gonna beat you. Will Jake knock me out? Of course he will. Will Tank knock me out? Of course he will in the ring. But I told you I'll beat the back pockets off Tank if he catch me in the street. Now I said that to say Jake is not a professional fighter, but he have a little bit of skill. So that'll make up for the difference if him and Tank got into it. But it ain't gonna do nothing for him when it comes to him and AJ. They're weight classes for a reason. And I'm gonna stick to that. And I'm gonna pass it back to you. So what say you?
Man, you said a lot there, Randy. A lot of beautiful things, and I definitely feeling you on everything that you present. I think as we get ready to kind of like wind it down, and everything, something that you did bring up that I realized I definitely wanted to emphasize is the size of the ring. Uh, the ring was a big ring, was a bigger ring. Um, Many people would just look at it and be like, okay, they was in the big ring. But what that says to me and others that kind of have been following boxing their whole life is that the person who's requesting that, the person that's doing that needs more room to move around, needs more room to stay away. What am I leading to? I do not believe that AJ trained hard for this fight, and he didn't need to, because this was not, this is like a walk in the park for someone like him. He did not need to. But I do believe Jake Paul did film study and realize that AJ himself has bad footwork, is not able to cut off the ring. He can apply pressure, which is what you said, but cannot cut the ring off. There's different techniques, different things you do to cut off the ring as opposed to just moving forward. And if people watch AJ's almost all of his previous fights, just look for anybody that moved. You constantly will see him trying to reset every time. Uh, I feel that Jake Paul and them did their film study and realized, okay, one big advantage we have on this guy is moving. And so we need a bigger ring so I can keep moving, keep moving. However, his cardio failed him, just like anybody. Let's be clear. We've seen this with Caleb Plant, when he fought against everybody he fights against, but more specifically when he fought against Canelo, and then Benavidez, was it? That he fought after. I had to, go back to my memory database. But movers that we call boxers that constantly move around, your stamina has to be on point. You can't be sitting out smoking weed every day of the week and then going to training camp and think that you're still going to be able to move 12 rounds when someone, like you said, AJ, is putting pressure on you constantly. So it was inevitable that Jake was going to run out of gas and he was going to get hit. And I felt that AJ was looking for that. I also do believe that he felt AJ's power in the first round. And was like, it was sort of like Sugar Ray was saying when he looks back at this Hagler fight. No, no, no. Like Hagler is like, won't you just stand still? You know what I'm saying? He said, Sugar Ray keeps saying, he said, no, no, no. So I definitely believe he felt his power in the very first round and realized, yes, this is why I wanted this bigger ring. This is why I wanted to do this. I mean, getting hit on the arm, getting hit, all these different things that affects you. But then knowing, oh, this is how hard that person hits me, and regardless if AJ can cut off the ring or not, this is a person that's stalking me. I do not want them to come at me. That's going to change your breathing. It's going to change how you move. You may have trained and practiced on moving a certain way, but now that you're in there, things are a little bit different because now you see what this person is really presenting to you. It's harder than you thought. He's coming at you a lot stronger than you thought, and you don't want to lose your spleen, kidney, liver, and everything else in your body. So you'd be like, let me get the heck out of here. I'm going to run even much more so. And so I think there's a combination of many things that caused him, to lose his stamina. And then when he lost his stamina, that's just what it was. If he came in round one, because the guy, remember too, as far as I can remember, all these little exhibition fights we've seen for Jake Paul, this is the first time we've ever seen him run. Did not see him running against Mike Tyson, all these other people, So he kind of kept the tries going and act like he's going to engage with someone and everything. If he would have went straight at AJ, he would have been done in 30 seconds of that, of that fight. So I would say exactly what you've been saying. AJ, did not carry him. AJ applied constant pressure on him all the way through. Jake Paul realized he got in over his head. And that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But they both made however much money, and I hope that Jake Paul, he doesn't try to do any of this anymore. It was entertaining for what it was. I don't want to see that anymore though, because it's obvious. This is a real fighter. You're not. And we don't want to see someone kind of going in there, like a dead man walking type thing anymore. Do all the other fun stuff. And that's about all I got on this. Go ahead, Randy, give it to me.
With that being said, I'm gonna leave them with you can't play boxing.
No, you cannot.
That's just plain and simple.
You
You can't play
cannot.
boxing. You can play
He
tennis, you can
learned.
play
He learned.
basketball, you can play
Jake Paul
football.
definitely
You
learned.
can't play boxing. So, with that being said, we're out of here like last year.
Peace. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry. Yes, Alicia Bumgard right now. Get that link set up.